Hi everybody, this is a video mainly intended for period 1 because we didn't get to go through as many examples, but also for period 7 if you're having trouble on the half sheet you can tune in and watch some examples again. Before I get going, a reminder on the homework. I know the bell is ringing as I was saying this and it was a little hectic here. You have 2 half sheets to do. Period 1, yours are combined, like these two are one sheet, so just cut them in half and there'll be 2 half sheets. One of them is 8.4, it's multiplying and dividing, it's what we already did. Those should be easier. That's just factoring and canceling. Show your work on a separate sheet. Do not squeeze your work in that centimeter of space. Then you have an 8.5 half sheet. That's what we started in class on Friday and what I'm finishing up in this video. Do everything except that last section on complex fractions. Again, separate sheet. And then this bookwork. Show your work for the bookwork as always if you want credit. So period 1, I gave this example to you. And we didn't have time to go over it. So this should already be in your notes. It should be attempted all the way. If you didn't get this as your final answer, you're going to want to stop the video and fix it. Again, the first thing we do is we break our denominators into their prime factorization to see what the LCD would be. So this is right here, the least common multiple of both of my denominators. There's a 3 here and 2 3s here. So I'm going to need 2 3s in my LCD. There's an x here and 2 x's here. So I need 2 x's. And one of them has an x plus 1, so my LCD needs an x plus 1. What I did next is then I multiplied each denominator by what they would need to become the LCD. So this one is 9x squared already. It needs to be 9x squared x plus 1. So you can see it's missing the x plus 1, top and bottom here. This one, it might be kind of hard to see what this is missing to become this. So I'm going to write this denominator, or I'm going to look at it in factored form. It's easier to see what it's missing then. So I have 3x and x plus 1. I already have an x plus 1. We're good to go, but I need 9x squared. I have 3x. So I need a 3x top and bottom. Distribute, and then I'm just going to rewrite it so that it is in decreasing order of exponents. So that's a more proper way to write it. So pause the video. Make sure you all go with that. We're going to do another one from scratch. Okay, so do this one along with me. In period 7, we already did this. Period 1, we didn't quite get to this. So these are examples you're going to need. They'll help you on the half sheet. So in your notebooks, continue this. We have x plus 2 over 2x minus 2 minus negative 2x minus 1 over x squared minus 4x plus 3. So I'm going to factor my denominators. So 2x times x minus 1. And then this one, let's see, it's x minus 3, x minus 1. Combine them to get the LCD. All right, one of my denominators has a 2, so the LCD needs a 2. One of my denominator, or they both have an x minus 1 time, so let's put an x minus 1. One of them has an x minus 3, so my LCD needs an x minus 3. So let's see, this denominator already has 2x and x minus 1. It needs the x minus 3. So I'm going to do x minus 3. What I do to the bottom, I better be doing to the top. This denominator already has x minus 1 and x minus 3. It needs this 2. So multiply top and bottom by 2. Now I'm going to continue the work over here. And just be aware that up top here, we're going to need to FOIL. Okay, so let's see here. In my first one, I'm going to have x squared plus 2x minus 3x is minus x. Negative 3 times 2 is minus 6. Now be very careful. In this one, I'm subtracting. So this minus is going to distribute. So I have 2 times this. So that's negative 4x minus 2. It's all over my LCD, which is 2x minus 1, x minus 3. I'm going to leave it in factored form. You'll see why in a minute. So I have x squared minus x minus 6 plus 4x plus 2. All I'm doing here is I'm distributing that negative, and that's still over my LCD. Okay, let's combine our like terms. Negative x plus 4x is plus 3x. Negative 6 plus 2 is minus 4. All right, now we haven't had one where we've had to factor the numerator again, but in several of these, you're going to have to factor the numerator again and see if there's anything that will cancel the denominator. So we already wrote it as one fraction, so that's good. Now we have to see if it simplifies. So I'm pretty sure this one will, so that would be plus 4 minus 1. Whoa, minus 1, not 11. And there we go. X minus 1 cancels. So I have x plus 4 over 2x minus 6. I just distributed the 2 to each of those. And here's your final answer. Not only is it one fraction, but it's also a simplified single fraction. So make sure you have that down. Make sure you're okay with it. Let me do one more. Again, period 7, we already did this one and we went over it. Period 1, we did not do this one yet, so it's good that we do it now. X over 3x minus 15. Here we're again subtracting two fractions. So we're going to be careful to distribute that negative when the time comes. Okay, let's factor this guy. 3x times x minus 5, and then this one is x minus 5, x plus 1. We need our LCD. I'm going to find out what the LCD is here. So for my LCD, one of my denominators has a 3, so I need a 3. They both have an x minus 5 one time, so my LCD will have it once. And one of my denominators has an x plus 1, so my LCD needs an x plus 1. Remember, the LCD is what both denominators need to become. So this one can become this if it has an x plus 1, and this one can become this if it has a 3. So let's do that right here. I'm going to multiply top and bottom of this fraction, which is this denominator, by x plus 1, because that's what it's missing to become the LCD. This one here already has the 2 factors. It just needs the 3. So let's multiply by 3. What I'm going to do is distribute, and I'm going to continue my work right here so I have more room. X squared plus x minus 6x plus 6. So stop for a minute and make sure you're okay with how I did that with the distributing. That is all over my LCD. And now what we're going to do is distribute the negative, because this is really a negative 1. So I have x squared plus x minus 6x minus 6 all over 3, x minus 5, x plus 1. And I'm going to combine my like terms here. And remember, we need to check if there's still common factors. So we got one fraction, that's great, but it could be that there's common factors in the numerator and denominator that we don't know about. So let's factor and see. So two numbers that multiply to negative 6 and add to negative 5. How about negative 6 times 1? All right, that works. And check it out, that factors. So this is all the way simplified. I'm going to distribute this 3x and negative 15. And here we go, all the way simplified. Now in your notes, sorry, not on your notes, on your half sheets, there's going to be some problems where there are 3 denominators. For example, this is from the 8.5 half sheet, and it is number 9. Here I have 3 denominators. It's the same process as we just did above. It's just here we're going to have to combine 3 fractions into 1 fraction. So we still need the LCD, but this time it's of all 3 fractions. I'm going to look at all my denominators. I'm going to write them in their factored form or their prime factorization. This is already in factored form. This is already factored form. This is the only one I could break up. So now my LCD, let's see, this one has an x plus 3. This one has an x plus 3. This doesn't. My LCD needs 1x plus 3. This has an x plus 2, as does this one. This one does not, so I need an x plus 2. So this is what all 3 of my denominators can become. All that this one needs is an x plus 2. All that this one here needs is an x plus 3. And this one here already has both of them, so I don't have to multiply by anything. So then what you would do is distribute, and it'd be minus 1. So it'd be x squared plus 2x. I'm going to distribute the negative as I go. Minus 3x minus 9, and then there's that minus 1 all over x plus 2, x plus 3. Then you'll combine like terms, these guys, and you'll factor your numerator and see if anything cancels in the denominator. So same process, just 3 fractions. And again, don't do the bottom section, which is complex fractions. I'll save that fun for you after break. So enjoy the rest of your break, and I will see you next week.